Dude, you got to go and read this book. I mean, it is a legit page turner, and you have no clue how many times I cried while reading this book. So just leave whatever you are reading right now and just read this book, please. Oh, you know what? I can help you with your next book selection. Have you read Tuesdays? You have read Tuesdays with Mori, right? Why don't you read this one? Eleanor Oliphant is completely fine by Gail. I mean, I haven't read this book to be honest, but all of my Bookstagrammar friends, whoever have read this one, are completely head over heels. They are so impressed by the book, and they say that the book is very thought provoking. I really have no clue why, but in fact, even I'm going to read this book soon, but I don't know when. But definitely soon. Why don't you start with this one? Hey, look, I know that you aren't a reader, but I think you should definitely read a book at least once. I mean, how otherwise you would come to know that you don't read a book? I mean, you just don't wake up one day and say that, oh, I don't like reading a book, unless you, of course, read a good book. So, you know what, you must definitely start. I'll send you a list of books which you can start with for the starters, and I'm sure you know what, I'll lend you a few of my books, you read them, and I'm definitely sure you'll become an avid reader once you really start enjoying it. And I hope you know that you need to return those books once you're done reading. You don't get to keep the books. Hey, I'm reading Autobiography of a Yogi. Haven't you read this book? I mean, I'm just currently reading it, but I'm almost done with this book, like few 10 to 15 pages. But oh my god, you haven't read this book? This book was read by Steve Jobs. Oh my god, like Steve Jobs had this book downloaded on his iPad, and he is completely in love. In fact, he recommends this book so vocally. He has read this book God knows how many times. I mean, Steve Jobs recommended it, bro. Steve Jobs. Hey, hi. Hey, did you read this book? It's Killing Commendator by Murakami. I don't know if you have read Murakami. No, it is not everybody's cup of tea to read Murakami, but because, bro, it is heavy, and actually heavy, like literally and literally. So just in case if you don't, really like his work, then you can skip it. It's not everybody's cup of tea. You know what? You should start with Harry Potter, because because it is Harry Potter. You know what? You must read Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. I mean, it is one of the best classics which I've ever read. In fact, the opening line itself of this book is so brilliant. And like, I haven't read anything much better than that opening line. Oh, you have already read the book. Oh, then why don't you read Manfield Spark? I mean, I haven't read that book, but it's written by Jane Austen herself. So this is one of the best debut works which I had read last year. And what, you haven't read this book? Like, dude, you need to read this book if you haven't read this book already. Like, it is one of the best debut books which I had ever read last year. I mean, that was exactly what I was saying, but you got to read this book. And I know Amrita Mahale personally. We met once, and did you know she was trained as an aerospace engineer at IIT Bombay and Stanford University? Tell me, what type of person are you when it comes to recommending a book to someone, and also let me know if you found this video relatable or not. I will be back with many bookish videos soon, so until then, keep reading. Oh, by the way, subscribe.